Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise for the playing of
the Sibling Rivalry Baseball Podcast
with your host, the 2023 IBWAA Podcast Host of the Year, Jana, and her big brother, Jeff. We are fully in fall here in October. Sibling Rivalry Baseball Podcast playoffs. October baseball. Incredible. Unless apparently you're the team from South California.
Yeah.
Craziness. Not real crazy with the wild cards, although some things that normally happen. The team that wins the first game typically wins the wild card series. That is true in all but one. The typically the home team tends to win the wild card series. That is also true in all but one. And only one of the four was only 2 games. Everybody else went to 3. So we will talk about all of that in just a couple of minutes. First up, just a reminder where you can find Sibling Rivalry Baseball Podcast on social media. Twitter and Blue Sky at Sibling Rivalry BB without the A.
And on Facebook and Instagram at Sibling Rivalry BB with the A.
And then our website, siblingrivalrybb.com, where if you hit the Fanatics link, and I need to clarify something because I was asked about this recently. Somebody who I didn't realize paid any attention to the show, or at least my part of the show. In the past, if they say something, they go, "Hey, your sister said."
Of course, yes.
You know, it's never me. While you were bloviating, your sister actually made a point. It was on the top of her head, but she made a point.
Hey.
All right, so I threw in the end. Somebody said, how come you don't have your Dodgers and Angels? How come you don't have links to Angels shop or Dodgers shop or MLB shop? And I explained to them, all of those shops are operated by Fanatics.
Yes.
And while they have a different branding on them for like the landing page that you go to, you're still going through Fanatics. There's more. NFL.com shop, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Other places are all part of, it all comes back to Fanatics.
Yes.
So hit one of the links. We have a Dodgers link, an Angels link, which will take you to their specific page. And from there, you can search for any team, any sport, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, filter however you want to.
Exactly. You can get an October baseball from any of the wild card teams, any of the teams, or divisions champions for any of the division champions. And I think before we get to talking about the playoffs, we should do something that we would normally do a little bit later in around baseball. But because this isn't the normal week to week, we still have a couple of things, or at least one thing, that housekeeping to put a wrap, other than the postseason awards, which we won't know until November. Who were the final players? Do you have the final players of the week?
Ooh.
Or just the final players of the month?
I have the final players. I have the September players of the month. And you know what? I didn't even think about the players of the week.
Wow.
I know.
Season's
I was
over.
just
Who cares?
focused on. I was focused on the. I don't know. I guess the.
Your focused on the
On
Dodger
the month.
bullpen.
I was. I was. And the bullpen. Yes. Always focused on them, especially during the 8th innings of certain games.
Hey, whenever they come in. We're going to the
Okay.
pen.
All right. So we will start with players. Oh, never mind. That says players of the game. Come on. I guess there's no players of the week. They had players of the game and there's several. And so I'm going to mess with that.
Hold on. Go ahead and do the players of the month, and I'll look up and see if I can find players of the week
Okay.
for the final week.
All right. All right. So the players of the month for September, the last full month of regular season baseball, AL player of the month goes to Aaron Judge of the New York Yankees. He slugged 10 home runs in the month to finish with 53, and he became just the third player to win a league batting title and hit at least 50 home runs in the same season. He was also named the AL player of the month in April and May. So this is his third time. And NL player of the month goes to Dalen Lyle. Lyle? L-I-L-E. Lyle? That's what I was thinking. Of the Nationals. Rookie outfielder, 391 batting average, 440 on-base percentage, and a 772 slugging percentage, and a 1.212 OPS during the final month. And he did something no one had accomplished since Willie Mays. He used his speed and his power to become the first player to hit 7 or more triples and 6 or more home runs in a calendar month since Mays in June of 1957. He finished the year batting .299 with 9 homers, 8 steals, and an 8.845 OPS. AL pitcher of the month goes to another Yankee, Max Fried. His September helped out the Yankees get to where they are with a 1.89 ERA in 5 September starts, striking out 35 hitters in 33 and a third innings and earning the win in all 5 of those outings. He finished his season with a 2.86 ERA and 189 Ks and 195 and a third innings. The NL pitcher of the month, Yoshinobu, why can't I say his name? Yoshi Yamamoto.
I don't know. I can't ever. You think you got it right in your head? It sounds
Nobu. I think Shohei calls him Yoshi, so I'm gonna call him Yoshi too. Yamamoto. He closed the regular season with a 0.38 ERA. It earned his first Pitcher of the Month award. I'm sorry, that was in April. Oops. In April, he earned it. Now again in September, 0.67 ERA, 2 earned runs in 27 innings in 4 of his 4 September starts. He allowed just 7 hits and struck out 34. And through his first 48 major league starts, he has a 2.66 ERA. All right. The American League Rookie of the Month goes to Joey Cantillo of the Guardians. The Guardians, of course, we know they surged late in the season to win the AL Central, and Joey Cantillo was part of the reason they did it. 1.55 ERA and a 28 strikeouts in 29 innings across 5 starts. The National League Rookie of the Month, Dalen Lyle of the Nationals. Is the last Nationals player to earn the National League Rookie of the Month was Juan Soto in June, July, and September of 2018. He hit 18 for 45 for 400 batting average, 4 homers over the season's final 2 weeks. He had 2 or more hits in 14 of his 25 games, the most multi-hit games in the majors in that span. The American League Reliever of the Month, Cade Smith of the Cleveland Guardians. He also played a key role. He saved 7 games in September. He tied for the most in the American League, including saves in 6 straight appearances from September 6th through the 14th. After allowing 3 earned runs without recording an out in his first outing in September against the Red Sox, he allowed just 1 earned run for the rest of the regular season, and he finished the month with a 2.77 ERA and 22 strikeouts in 13 innings. And the National League Reliever of the Month, San Diego Padres' Mason Miller. He's been really good for San Diego. He posted a 0.77 ERA in 22 appearances, including a perfect September with no runs allowed in 12 and a third innings. He allowed only 1 hit all month, struck out 26, and picked up 5 holds and a save to finish September. And those are the MLB Players of the Month for September.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
So the final players of the week. One of them you mentioned as a player of the month.
Mm-hmm.
And Aaron Judge.
Oh, well,
He with a 1693 OPS, 4 home runs, and 9 RBIs. He gets the AL Player of the Week honors, and I don't know how many times he's gotten it. 700.
7. I think that's about right.
That's just this season.
Yeah.
And then the National League Player of the Week with 12 RBIs, 5 home runs, and a 1420 OPS from your Chicago Cubs, Seiya Suzuki.
Oh, very nice.
That's your Players of the Week. So now we have wrapped up regular season stuff, and we can start looking at important stuff like the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll start off with the Dodgers.
The Dodgers.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Yeah, the Dodgers in a wild card versus the Cincinnati Reds. And, I heard a lot of people read a lot, the Dodgers, a wild card. Really? This is crazy.
They're ruining baseball by playing in the wild card.
That's right. It's their fault. But we've been talking about this, I think, all season long about maybe playing in a wild card series would be good for the Dodgers.
We talked about that last season when there was the feeling of an impending collapse.
Yes, we've been talking about it quite a bit, and it happened. They played in a wild card series versus the Cincinnati Reds, and it's the first time that a manager and a former player of that manager managed in a game together, postseason game. So Terry Francona was the manager of the 2004 Boston Red Sox,
right?
And Dave Roberts played on the 2004 Boston Red Sox. So
yes,
there you go. And there you
like,
go.
Who's the manager of the Reds? They couldn't have played for Dave.
Oh, right.
And I forgot.
Yeah, it was the other way around.
Francona.
Yeah, Hall of Fame manager.
Yes.
He will be. And I learned something about him in this wild card series, that he goes through like 100 pieces of gum in a game.
Oh, wow.
And he has certain flavors. He's like apple and berry or something like that, and
Is
some other
there
flavor.
a method to the flavors, or just whatever comes next?
I'm not really sure. I didn't really hear if there was a, it has to be like in the he starts with this flavor and then he goes to this, maybe. But I just thought it was very interesting. 100,
Mango,
yeah, pieces of gum, 100.
dark
And where do they all
strawberries.
go?
I don't know.
I mean, does he very politely put it in a napkin, throw it away? Does he spit it out on the field so somebody steps on it? What gets caught up in your spikes?
Right? No, I don't know. That'd be a good question. Maybe, like we always say, we should get Terry Francona on to talk about his chewing gum. Do we? No.
No, I don't. Yeah. I mean, he might. Who knows? But anyway, so this series, even though you're thinking, okay, the Reds, the Dodgers in the regular season beat the Reds. They had, 5 times. They didn't always look very comfortable, especially in Cincinnati, doing it. And these kind of teams can be a trick for the Dodgers.
Frick.
But first game out, explosive offense, excellent pitching. Blake Snell on the mound, 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. Shohei, 2 home runs. Teoscar Hernandez, 2 home runs. Tommy Edman had a home run. Everything was cooking on. I mean, everything was going. It was on the right cylinders. And the 8th inning happened. And I know that at the 8th inning, yes, they were up by 10? 10 runs, 8 runs.
They're up like 8. Yeah.
Yeah. And people are like, why are you worried? In fact, my oldest son came out and he said, why are you, they're up, why are you so concerned? What is going on? They're up, they're up. They're going to win. And I'm like, you don't know. You don't know. You don't understand. And you could see in the crowd, people had the same nervousness you could see it on their faces, but they got out of it. But Alex Vesia, I don't know what it's Vesia and Henriquez. Dreyer actually came in and, he did walk a guy, but he didn't give up any hits or runs. And Blake Trinan gave up a hit, but no runs, and had 2 strikeouts. So it's like, hey, okay, what's going on? But they make you nervous because they come out of the bullpen and you don't ever know what you're going to get. And yes, the Dodgers did go on to win 10-5, but they gave up 3 runs in the 8th. But the Dodgers, yes, they won 10-5. So that's what we're happy about. But again, it's the bullpen that made it a little uncomfortable. Just a little uncomfortable.
A little?
A lot. It was a lot
I mean,
uncomfortable.
At that point, I know that when I saw that, it was like, I don't want to watch this meltdown.
Yeah. So actually they were up 10. It was 10-2. And then, but even the 10 runs was still fragile.
That's
which
the
is
problem.
crazy.
I thought, oh, there's 10 runs. This should be okay. And next thing I know, the lead is cut in half.
Right.
And I'm like, why did this? And once again, it wasn't the starters. The starters did well.
Yeah.
Both
games, because the next game, Yoshi is on the mound, 6 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, but also 9 strikeouts. And between Snell and Yamamoto, they got 20 plus outs and allowed fewer than 5 hits between the two of them. But again, in the second game, Dodgers win this game. So it is the series that went 2 games. 8th inning, Emmett Sheehan comes in. After Trinan got the out, he did his job. And then Sheehan comes in and you're like, oh, yeah, Sheehan. And you had even said, what did you say?
I know, something stupid.
You said Emmett or Sheehan seems to be the best option out of the pen.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Which I was thinking the same thing. That seems reasonable to think because he has pitched well. He
and
was not.
I saw him throw 2 or 3 pitches
Mhm.
without looking to see what the situation was because I kind of came into it with him on the mound.
Yeah.
And he looked like he was throwing some good pitches.
Mm-hmm.
And then I noticed the bases were loaded.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe I'm wrong here. I think I even came back. Maybe not.
Yeah, maybe that's not the case. The Dodgers at this point, so Cincinnati had scored 2 runs in the first, and then the Dodgers scored 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth, and then the 6th inning they scored 4, so they were up 7, and by the 7th they were up 8. So you're still 8 runs. Okay, I think that, but always thinking we need more runs. There needs to be more runs.
Well, yeah, there's no 8 is not enough.
It
Only
it
for
is
Dick
not.
Van Patten.
Right.
8 is enough.
That's right.
It
Sheehan,
is. Yeah. No.
Sheehan comes in, pitches a third of an inning, gives up 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks. In fact, they walked in runs. And I think that's what stings, right? Because they walked runs in this situation.
That should never be happening.
But Vesia comes in after his not so great night the night before, but he comes in, he has a walk, but he has 2 strikeouts, and then Roki Sasaki comes in and closes out the game, 2 strikeouts, and no walks, no hits, no runs, and looks great.
And everybody, whether it was Twitter, Blue Sky, Houston Mitchell of the LA Times, people on MLB Radio, people on MLB Network,
ESPN,
on local radio stations, ESPN, everybody said Roki Sasaki is a new closer.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's put the brakes on for just a second.
Yes.
I'm not saying that this may not be the case. And there's always been those cases. In fact, we'll talk about a rookie having an incredible outing in one of the other series, in an elimination game, no less, and talk about how great that was. But there's no shortage of rookies or young players stepping up. Once again, I'll go back to the 2002 Angels. Francisco Rodriguez, K-Rod, out of nowhere. This guy has a good career, and that year was a big help to setting up Troy Percival that year and became the closer in his own right. But I think until, 3 batters does not make closer. Does he look better than anybody else? Would I rather give him a shot than Tanner Scott or Blake Trinan? Yes.
Yes, I'm in agreement with that.
But I don't think that we should automatically be putting him on that throne yet.
No.
What I do like, though, is that he's got the same kind of mindset that Yoshi and Shohei have.
Mm-hmm.
That, yes, I'm going out there and I'm succeeding, but I can't just ride on whatever. I can't say, oh, they think I'm the closer. I'm good now. I have to continue to prove myself. And I
Yeah.
think he probably more than the other two know it because he's had such a bad season in the overall of where we thought he would be. We thought he would
Yeah.
be a starter all season,
Right.
and he needed. But look at it. Last season, even though he overall pitched better, Yoshi needed time to fully get in. By the end of the season, he was looking like what we thought we got.
Yes. Yeah. I think
Roki may be a reliever overall and not a starting pitcher.
right. You just never know. And I think, especially for him, he had the injury. He was on the IL for a long time. Then he did rehab start, and then his rehab start didn't go well like the first one. So they kept him in Oklahoma City for quite a while
Yeah,
before
he
he
was there
came
for a
up.
couple months,
Yeah.
and he didn't come up until September when
Mm-hmm.
they expanded rosters. And
Right.
even then, it was like, well, should we? Shouldn't we? And it was when they started using him as a reliever in um, Oklahoma City that it seemed like he started to kind of get in a groove.
Yes. Yeah. So, and I think that's a good shot in the arm for the bullpen. Definitely need that, and makes you feel a little bit better about the bullpen that he's in there. Um, but yeah, this series, I want to talk about Ben Rortvet, the catcher. So Dalton Rushing was on the wild card roster as well as Will Smith. Will Smith didn't play. Yes, he was on the one. I'm like, was he? Yeah, he
Yeah,
didn't
he
play.
was he was on there,
Yeah.
and yeah, didn't use him.
Didn't use him, but Rortvet, he just looks great. I mean, you're like, who the heck is this guy? And what's he doing? But he looks like he has been with the team, with the pitchers for years. And he was 3 for 6 versus the Reds, and he had 2 sacrifice bunts,
Yeah, that's
which is
crazy.
huge. Like, you don't see that. So it's really good to have him behind home plate because, we still aren't sure about Will Smith, because he's has that hairline fracture. It's taped up, and he was hitting before the series started. Um, but is that the only thing he would be able to do at this point if they
Right.
needed a
Well,
bat
they
off the
they also
bench?
had him, catching pitches,
Yeah.
and he wasn't throwing or anything, but he was doing that, and so I kind of thought maybe, but I think you're right. He's probably at until they're 100% with him. Um, he may be a pinch hitter at some point if
Yeah.
needed. And now that they're going to go play Philadelphia, starting up on Saturday, tomorrow, they've got like the second game of the day versus Philly. Um, they might need him because Philly's going to be more of a challenge. The Reds had the potential to be more of a challenge, but just didn't come through. Terry
Well, and
Francona did say that the guys never quit trying,
yeah, and that's
but
true.
and they did, and but I think too you've got like Hunter Green had a great season. He's a hometown boy. I think that there was some nerves involved. Coming back to pitch and back at home in front of the team he grew up playing with, in front of a team that even what did you send me today? That JT Romuto says these guys are the class of the league.
Mm-hmm.
He says they go out there every year, they do it right because they're always trying to win. They don't just go out and play the 162. He said, and while a lot of people were like, "Wow, oh, why are you saying that? What's going on here? Oh, you're a free agent next year." Well, he's not going to go to the Dodgers. The Dodgers
No.
don't need him.
Right.
But he's he's saying that and said, I think we're the same in the Phillies. And
Mm-hmm.
really, when you look at it, the Phillies have made a point to get some good players. Look around their field. Not right off the top, you got Trey Turner, who I think won the batting title this year or was real close.
He won the batting title with the lowest average ever,
But
304. But he won
still,
it.
and he was the only one over 300.
Yeah.
And then you've got, then you have Bryce Harper. You got Schwarber, who, turned into Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
And then you've got other players that are above average players. So it's not like, and they did that with great pitching, even without their ace being there, Zach Wheeler.
Mm-hmm.
The Bryson Stott, who's their second baseman, normally had some issues. What's his name? What's his name at third base? Why can't I remember his name? Alec
Alec
Bohm.
Bohm.
Been on the IL as well. So it's they're definitely. I would say this would be probably the to me. I think this would be the matchup you'd want to see in the division in the championship series
Mm-hmm.
versus because both the Brewers and the Cubs are good teams, but whoever comes out of that versus one of those two teams is automatically the underdog.
Right.
And both of those teams, they're just they're working at a different level.
Yeah, they're built differently for sure. I heard or read that Cincinnati may have been tipping pitches in that first game. There was a video where they were doing with one of the hitting coaches and showing Teoscar Hernandez some video on because I think they were changing pitchers or something. And he looked at the video and then went up and hit a home run.
He
So,
smiled
yes, smiled and
and
hit a
went and
home
hit a
run.
home run.
I don't know. I saw that one or two places, but don't know if that's really how much of that was true. But I think the Dodgers, as far as offense, the guys, I think they're catching on as well. That they've got to score right out of the gate and get as many as they can get because they know the bullpen. Now, Kike said, I'm not worried about the bullpen. They're going to come around. They'll figure themselves out. Hopefully they will.
So, speaking of Kike, and
Yes,
it holds true, when Kike gets a hit in a game, in a playoff game, they are 10-0.
that's a crazy stat.
So all we got to do is hope that Kike gets a hit every game.
Yes, we need Kike. Yes,
So
definitely.
another one of those history-making games coming up versus the Phillies in that Shohei, for the first time in his career, will pitch in a playoff game.
Yes,
And really, this sets up that you probably don't need Tyler Glass now to pitch. You can throw him out of the pen.
which is what I've heard is that he will probably be available out of the pen if needed.
Kershaw out of the pen. It just depends. I mean, you have some options
Right.
now, and I think I would hold off until I saw, where we're going with this particular series
Mm-hmm.
to see if maybe I might need Glass now to
Right.
start like the third or fourth game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, those are just, I think, throwing those things out there. We know the pitchers for game one, and we know that Kershaw will be, like you said, available, Glass now available, but obviously those are kind of like back pocket kind of situations.
Mhm.
The Dodgers and the Phillies will play tomorrow, like you said, in the second game. And this series will be on TBS. The first game will be on TBS or and if you have HBO Max, and then the next games will be TBS, True TV, or HBO Max.
And they've got an odd schedule. So they start on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
They play again on Monday. And then it's a travel day on Tuesday.
Right.
And they'll play. So the first 3 games, they're getting a day off in between. And then they'll play, they'll come to LA and they'll play Thursday. They'll play Wednesday and Thursday,
Mm-hmm.
and then back to Philly if needed for the 4th and 5th games are, if needed,
Yeah.
because it's only a 5-game series. So, and then just remember all of the National League, um, games are that 3 TBS, True, or HBO Max, and then you'll be able to see American League games on Fox or FS1 and one of the
Right.
Fox networks.
Yeah. So I'm excited for this series. It'll be rocking in Philadelphia as always. I like Shohei said they asked him about the fans in Philly, and he said they are passionate, and they are 100% passionate. And I think it's interesting. They've got a 9 for 9. It's like I think it's called a 9 for 9 deal. It's
999 I saw.
Oh, 999. So what's the other thing? Because it's like
I'm not
hot
sure. There's 9
dogs
hot dogs,
and then like little mini beer shots, I guess. I don't know. They're like mini
9 of them.
beer cups. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's for $9. That's
Oh,
a deal right
maybe
there.
999.
I don't know. I only saw the hot dogs. I assume that there were probably some beverage connected to it, usually beer.
Yeah. It's a 999 challenge. Yeah. So it's 9 bite-sized hot dogs and 9 tiny beers.
Okay.
And so like a shot glass, I guess.
Okay.
So this is why. 9 beers, 9 hot dogs during 9 innings.
Got it.
Because it's $55.
It's $55. See, maybe they should have went with $99
Yeah.
to stay with the 9s.
Yes.
I didn't figure it was $9, but,
that'd be a
kind of
steal.
cool. That'd be almost like the 10-cent beer night that almost caused old Comiskey to get burned down back in the
Right.
70s.
Yeah. So, well, and just thinking of food, just really quick, I also saw that Seattle will be offering crab legs in a
Oh
helmet.
yeah, they have like a whole group of playoff foods
Yeah.
that I saw. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, we'll have to look at those. But I guess we should continue with the National League.
So yeah, so the Dodgers and Phillies. We'll see what happens from there. Next time we talk, we'll talk about that series along with any others that are finished. So let's do this. Let's head on over to the bullpen cart, all painted up in
Mm-hmm.
October baseball in
Yes.
all the colors of the different teams, primarily blue for Dodgers,
Yes.
but all the colors of the teams, and let's take a ride around baseball wild card playoffs. All right, let's go to Milwaukee to start off and finish up the National League, where Milwaukee. I don't even know why I went to Milwaukee. Let's go south because I'm already ready for that series. Let's go south.
Let's forget
Chicago.
about Chicago and just go to Milwaukee.
Let's go to Chicago, And the cool thing is, think about it. The Dodgers. The good thing for the Dodgers is they swept, so they get an extra day
Right.
before. But either team coming out of Chicago just had to go 2 hours north, roughly,
Yeah.
and then stay in a haunted hotel. I think all the teams stay there.
Unless you're Mookie Betts and you stay in an Airbnb or
Right.
Verbo or whatever
Or
he
whatever,
stays in.
right? So the Cubs and the Dregs, and see, this series felt all too familiar to me because I don't know how many times I've seen the Cubs and the Padres play, whether it be in Chicago. Both times I've been to Wrigley, both times the Dregs were there. I mean, nothing I could do. I just happened to be in Chicago.
But that's
at
a
that
good
time.
team. I mean, if you're going to go watch the Cubs and they're playing against a team, that's a good team to root,
Well, that way
against.
that makes it easier to root for the Cubs.
That's what, right. That's what I
Right.
mean.
And then I saw, in fact, I was in left field and just missed where my section of left field was not the right section in the year that in 1998 when Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire are having the home run chase, and Sammy hit a home run out into left field at the old Qualcomm Stadium at Jack Murphy Stadium, and it wasn't right by where we were, but I was down there with a couple of known to us um, San Diego residents.
And that's what they will be referred to, known
Yeah,
to
well,
us.
but I'll tell you, Jim
Oh, yeah. And
was
known to us and Jim.
known to us and Jim. All right,
Oh.
so we go to Chicago, and just knowing that whoever wins in Chicago goes to Milwaukee.
Yeah, not yet, but they're going to go.
This series was met what the basics are. The team that won the first game won the series.
Right.
And just to give it away, the home team won the series.
Yeah, they gave San Diego a little bit of, hope, I guess, in the second game. The first game, Cubs went, and the Cubs scored 9 runs over the series. 3 runs.
3, and 3.
Right. The Padres, or sorry, yeah, is that right? Yeah. The Cubs scored 3, actually 6.
No, I'm sorry. They said 6 total.
6.
They did 3, 0,
but it
and
was
3.
3. But I mean, yeah, all of the scores. That's what I meant. I'm sorry.
All of the winning scores were 3
3.
runs.
That's it. 3 runs.
And
yes.
then in game 1 and game 3, it was the same score, 3-1. The Cubs beat the Padres 3-1 in both the winning games.
Yes.
And lost 3-0 in the middle.
Yes. And they had in the middle game, Dylan Cease pitched, but he only pitched 3 2/3 innings.
And
that was in the win.
I thought he was pitching fairly decently.
Right. I mean, he had 5
what
strikeouts.
happened?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
He didn't give up. He gave up 3 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts.
That's it.
He didn't give up any runs.
No. So I don't know if they saw something, but if you look at the box score for both teams, it seemed like they were going bullpen game kind of mentality. Mike Imanaga pitched in that game. Shota, but Mike.
Right.
4 innings, but he gave up 3 hits, 2 runs. He gave up a home run to Manny Machado. That was like his 1 hit, a 2-run home run.
Yeah,
but
he and
but
Tatis were like 2 for 22 put together.
Yeah.
And
Cra-
Tatis, I saw a couple of his bats because I just saw bits and pieces of the game.
Right.
I was on jury duty.
Mm-hmm.
Tatis looked terrible. Some of the swings and not even like at a good pitch. A
Yeah.
pitch that you could tell was 6 foot out, where the catcher had to dive
Yeah.
to try to get it to his right, and
Mm-hmm.
Tatis was swinging at it as if it was right down the middle of the plate.
Yeah. And then in the third game, Darvish started. He pitched an inning
He
and gave
pitched.
up 2
He started the
runs.
second inning,
Right.
so
So
he came out. Um, I mean, he did come out to pitch the second inning. First inning, what did he do? He was all right in the first inning. Um, uh, he uh, he faced 4 batters in the first inning. Gave up a single to start, ground out, strikeout, and then Nico Horner was caught stealing. So um, he got out of that cleanly. But in the second inning, the wheels came off of his bus at that point. He only gave up 2 runs, but they didn't stick around to see if he was going to give up more.
no. And I wonder, because I saw, bits and pieces of the game as well, and it was, I wondered, because their bullpen has been so good, were they like, well, we'll just rely on our bullpen to get us through?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know really what really, it didn't matter what their pitching did, because, as you mentioned, it was like Tatis 1 for 12, Machado 1 for 10, Cronenworth 0 for 11, and Arise 2 for 11. And Arise in the last game, he could have gotten, I mean, Dansby Swanson, on one of the hits, he had to spin like on the grass, get the ball, and still threw Arise out.
Yeah, Rice looked like he wasn't even. It was like at the last minute. Oh, I better run.
Yeah.
Like he was just walking up the line. And Mike Schilt did compliment Dansby Swanson for his play in the series.
Well, and but this is the thing. If you go back and watch that, on the second hit to Dansby Swanson, he gets the ball, kind of drops it, still throws him out. And this seems to be the mentality of the Padres is, I don't have to, he kind of bobbled it and still got him out. And because it was, oh, I gotta run. Yeah. And I don't know if he thought, oh, I grounded out, so I'm going to just jog or whatever. But I think on both of those plays, he had the opportunity to possibly beat it out because of a bobble here and there. So it was just
if
poor.
You're not running it out as hard as you can.
And you should be doing that. He knows better. And then he gets in the dugout and he, slams his helmet. Like, well, that's your fault. And then the end of the game, or towards the end of the game, I guess it was in the 9th inning, Xander Bogaerts is up and he gets called out on strikes. And the ball is at the bottom of the zone, but they all have I think ESPN calls it the strike zone or the K zone or something. Mm-hmm. The StatCast box, whatever. And it was just under. But people have looked at this and said, really, it could have been right at the bottom, right on the box, like right in the middle.
Just inside that corner.
Just inside. And he just flipped out. And of course, Mike Schilt comes out and, tried to save him. And he's just crazy. Like, I can't believe it. And then he's like, there's nothing I can do about it now. But thank goodness for ABS next year. But this is the thing. I was reading that obviously you could challenge that with the ABS. And you might.
Yeah, but
You
what if
might.
you've already done your 2 challenges
Oh, right. So at that point,
and
right, it's the
lost it?
9th inning. Now ESPN, they showed the pitch below the zone. Baseball Savant showed it, like you said, at the very bottom, like right in the corner there. I didn't know this because I guess I had never really gone into the rules as much, but the bottom of the zone is 27% of a batter's height. So an umpire is supposed to look at the batter's height and call based on where they are. So the strike zone is not the same, obviously, for every batter. We know that.
Well, and some of the arguments about this was the box that's on there, and you should always know the box doesn't move
No.
wherever they put it on there. So when Aaron Judge comes up, the box is the same
Yes.
as when Tiny comes up.
Right.
So when Altuve comes up there and his head doesn't even come to the top of the box,
Mm-hmm.
it has it's put up there on the screen,
Yeah.
then but and all it is like about the middle of everything. And when I was an umpire in Little League, the one thing they taught us was pretty much look for the pitches over the plate, any part of the plate,
Mm-hmm.
between the knees and the chest, so the letters.
Yeah.
And obviously we see pitchers, we see umpires call lower, we see them
Mm-hmm.
call higher.
Right.
And you have to figure out what the umpire's calling to determine what pitches you should be going after.
Right.
I kind of felt like whether it was a bad call or not, and when you first look at it, it does
Yes.
look like a bad call.
Mm-hmm.
Would it have been overturned? Who knows? We won't know because that system wasn't in place. But just the look on his face and other players from the dregs, I don't think it mattered. It could have been over the middle of the plate. I don't, and he would have complained about it
Right. Well,
because he just what I think by that time he had given up. Jackson Merrill, I think, is the only one that actually continued to play hard throughout.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, he gave him, I think in that third game, he had a home run, but
Yeah, Jackson Merrill hit a home run right before Xander Bogaerts struck out.
yeah.
Bogaerts was the first out of the ninth.
Yeah. And I think the interesting thing too I learned today is that box is the front of the strike zone. ABS will be the midpoint of the plate. So it's different. So, and will they change the strike zone? Because according to MLB, the strike zone is that area over home plate, the upper limit of which is a horizontal line. This is all the math at the midpoint between the top of the shoulders and the top of the uniform pants. And the lower level is a line at the hollow beneath the kneecap, and the strike zone shall be determined from the batter's stance as the batter is prepared to swing at a pitched ball.
Right. So in that case, the one thing I always heard was crouching down doesn't help. But
No.
if you do come in like you're going to swing at the ball and you're Pete Rose in it,
Mm-hmm.
then you've essentially lowered or shrunk your strike zone.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting, but this is the part I think that just showed the type of organization that San Diego is. And there's conflicting, but there's a video that was taken by a fan. The umpires are coming through the dugout, down the stairs through the visitors' dugout. And Padres are still there. Xander Bogaerts, I think Julio Iglesias. Uh, Julio
Jose.
Iglesias. I know. As soon as I
OMG.
said Julio was there, like, that is not right. Jose Iglesias. The umpires are coming down. Some words are said. Now, I've watched it several times. Some people say the umpire, the home plate umpire, said something and they responded.
I did
And I'm like,
see him. The
but
other umpires were just coming down. You
right,
did see that there was some sort of reaction, or I didn't see if he started because you can't hear. Did somebody from the drag say something to him?
right,
Did he say something? Um, which is bad on his part. The rest of the umpires had a clue. You just
yeah,
walk down, get to your room, and be done with it.
and be done with it. I've like I said, I've watched it several times, and when I have watched it, at first I was like, okay, it looks like somebody from San Diego said something. He says something back. Then I was like, maybe he says something first. And then they said something back. But then I watched it again, and it seemed what I think it looked like they said something, whether it was just, you're a jerk or I don't know. But that's when he responds, and then they all, those players come at him and yelling at him. Either way, whatever, it's a bad look all the way around.
Yeah, the umpire should have just kept going. He
Exactly. They
shouldn't have
should not have
responded if they
engaged.
did say. And if he said something, then that's the thing that a lot of people keep saying is that the umpires that keep trying to make the game about them.
Yes.
And there's a few of them. I mean, we got rid of a couple of guys.
Mm-hmm.
But the only reason that the only thing we should ever see from the umpires is the calls. We shouldn't really know they're there.
I
You
shouldn't
know,
even really know their names, like, oh, so and so, like, who cares? I don't care. You know what I mean?
right? Exactly. So Cubs will be heading north
They
to
will be
play
heading
Milwaukee
for the National League Central Championship
Division
Series.
Series.
Yeah, I mean
Yes,
Division
the
Series. Yeah.
championship series the NLCCS.
LCDS. Yes.
Yes, and then they will move on to play the winner out of Philadelphia and the Dodgers.
I did think it was funny. I know that because it's the Padres. But I thought it was funny because Mike Schilt, they asked him about Xander Bogaerts, and he said, he thought, that it was a ball, and I don't see that great. I'm kind of far away, so I don't know. But out of all of the players, almost all of my players, they don't, and especially Bogarts, I think they call him Bogey. They don't get upset. They don't, in drama when they have those close calls. And I was like, obviously you can't see, because how many times have we seen Tatis flailing on the ground when he gets pitched a little bit inside? Yeah. And then, of course, Manny Machado, when they said, what's your tell about this? See, I don't know that the question was, a great question from the
Maybe he went
reporter.
overboard, but I get it. They just lost,
They just lost. Yeah.
and they have a higher expectation. Honestly,
Yes.
I think most of us have a higher expectation for a couple reasons. The Padres aren't a bad team.
No, they are not.
And
They
they
have good
walk
players.
around like they should be better than they are.
Yes, they
But
do
they
have a
have
chip on
attitude
their.
issues
Yes.
that the chip on their shoulders they're not using
Yeah.
correctly.
Right. They're not using it to their advantage. And I think it's interesting too. AJ Preller basically sold the farm
For
to
Mason Miller.
lose the wild card.
Yep.
Really. Really quickly, free agents for San Diego: Luisa Rise, Dylan Cease, Robert Suarez. He has a player option. Michael King has a mutual option. Wandy Peralta has a player option. Ramon Laureano has a club option. Elise Diaz, a mutual option. Ryan O'Hearn, Jose Iglesias, and Nestor Cortez. They will all be free agents this off. They're coming up unless those options are exercised. So I
Some of
think
them
it's just
probably
a culture within the clubhouse, and it's interesting to me because we've seen it happen over and over again. I think the only manager that we haven't really seen it where he was Bob Melvin. I don't think that he ever really bought into, like Schilt does. Like he comes out and yells and screams, and we've seen that with previous managers. I didn't really see that with Bob Melvin, but it doesn't matter because Bob Melvin isn't a manager anywhere anymore.
not yet.
Not yet.
He'll probably get another job somewhere.
Yeah, he'll be somewhere.
All right. So let's leave Chicago and just go east a little bit to Cleveland.
Cleveland. This was a series that I felt was unnecessary because I think that the Guardians, by virtue of coming back in the biggest deficit ever, 15 and a half games, and winning the American League Central, they should have just been
Every time.
given.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Just should
They
have
should
been
have
given.
just you get to you get a spot
A
by.
bye. You get
Because
a bye. You're automatically going to go play Seattle.
Yeah, why
We'll
not?
see you in a week. Yeah, that seems fair.
I mean, I
like
don't
it.
know.
Every time you say winning, last week too, we'd be saying said winning. I just watched on Netflix the Charlie Sheen documentary.
Oh, I
And
haven't seen that
they
yet.
go through the part. Remember, he went through the part with the tiger blood and
Yes.
winning, and
Winning.
he had tattooed it on like his wrist. So now whenever we say that I hear Charlie Sheen winning.
It's like,
Anyway, I that could be fair. That
I mean,
they
I don't
came
know.
back. So the Cleveland. So hey, the Cubs won the first game and they were the home team
Mm-hmm.
and they won. Cleveland wins, secures their spot, and so they get as the AL Central champs for the regular season, and they get to host the Tigers, who they got past to be the AL Central champs.
Yeah.
So they got to do it all over again.
Like, I got to face these guys again.
Hey, you get out, you back Jack, do it again.
That's
as
right.
Steely Dan said. So they come out ready to play, and this one had a similarity as far as like scores go. That they were like a couple games. One team scored the same amount. Next team, the winning scores were close in a couple of games, both sixes in games 2 and 3. The first game, though, Tarek Skubal over whatever bad feelings he had about hitting David Fry. And
He got over it.
and
then
he
was
controls.
Yeah, I mean, they just came up against a buzzsaw. 14 strikeouts in this game. And Detroit wins the game 2-1. I mean, they didn't have to do much. Spencer Torkelson, Zach McKinstry each had RBIs in this game. In fact, Zach McKinstry, I think, had a go ahead, like a bunt.
Oh, yeah, right.
What it was. So you're like, okay, we know the stats. The team that wins the first game usually goes on to win the series. But you have to think they're in Cleveland. Cleveland has to come back. Cleveland rocks. They got to come back. But Cleveland didn't rock this time. And the second game,
Well,
they,
in the second game, actually looked like they might very well
yeah,
lose that one too.
yes.
They do score first,
Mm-hmm.
and then it remains 1-0 till the top of the fourth. Detroit scores one, and then until the eighth, no more runs are scored. And then in the eighth inning, the Deans they finally they wake up
Yeah.
and would go on, and you could thank Rocchio, Brian Rocchio from Venezuela. Uh, Starts him off with a home run. Well, he was the second batter, hits a home run, and then Stephen Kwan with a double, back-to-back doubles between Kwan and Daniel Schneemann, and then they intentionally walk Jose Ramirez, and that doesn't seem to matter because then Bo Naylor comes up and hits a 3-run shot, and they take a 6-1 lead, and that's where it would end. They were able to shut down the Tigers.
Well, yeah, and the Tigers in this game were 1 for 15 with runners in scoring position. I'm not going to
Yeah,
go get anywhere there.
that doesn't help at all. Overall,
No.
they had they out hit the Guardians by one, 7-6 with hits, and the Guardians had 2 errors in this game,
Mm-hmm.
but were still able because of that big inning um, to go on. So now here we are. We got a 1-game series pretty much, and just like we had in Chicago.
Yep.
They split the first 2. They go to game number 3, and for most of the game, it was it was 1-1 from the third inning until the sixth, and then the Tigers were able to score one more, and then in the seventh they broke it open and scored 4 to take a 6-1 lead. Cleveland at that point looked demoralized.
Mm-hmm.
They just
Yeah.
didn't seem. You know what? Think of the movie. Think of Major League
Mm-hmm.
with Cleveland, and they're playing in the playoff game or 1-game playoff versus the Yankees to see who's going to the playoffs, right? And they're all fired up, they're doing well, and then all of a sudden, it seems like they've run out of gas, and the manager's kind of like, it was nice while it lasted.
Yeah.
And right at that point, it's Roger Dorn, the character Corbin Burnson,
Mm-hmm.
comes up and gets a single to get things going, and that's where you would expect Jose Ramirez to come up and do that, and he didn't. They do score 2 more runs, but they end up losing it, and all of that work they did, maybe they just were too pooped to keep going, and maybe the Tigers aren't the fraud that one guy said they were.
Yeah. I don't think they are. I mean, Cleveland scored 5 runs over 3 games. And I wonder though, because they had such a huge deficit that they um that they overcame, were they just, that was it, like that's all, it took everything out of them, and then when they got to the wild card they just didn't have enough.
Well, it's that, or maybe not only that, but Detroit said, uh, "We were on top all season. We can't let this be the end." And
Right, I think that too is maybe that Detroit was like, how did we let this happen? We were at the top. We've been at the top. Everybody was like, it's going to be Detroit. They're going to win the Central for the whole season, practically, right? And then they're like, we have to save face because the Tigers are the first MLB team to win a postseason series immediately after losing 5 straight series to
Oh,
end the
wow.
regular season.
Wow. I didn't realize they had lost that many, but the Dodgers had that same issue. They lost 5 or 6 straight series. So,
Yeah.
yep. So the Tigers will find themselves in Seattle to take on the number 2 seed, the Mariners. They went 2-4 in the 6 games versus Seattle this year. They were outscored by almost 20 runs. The Mariners outscored them 45-29 in that in their matchups. So we'll see how that plays, and we'll see if the time off caused the Mariners any issues.
Well, they did do sim games. Ichiro played in
Right?
the outfield.
Played the outfield
And
for
he
'em.
looked like he could maybe come back and still play.
Maybe, yeah. I've seen him doing stuff where he's working with high school kids,
Yeah.
and he's better than they are, and
Yeah.
he's fully retired. He's still focused and ready to go. So we'll
Yeah.
see. They also start off on all the first round games or the first games of each of these series
Mhm.
will be on Saturday, and then it will go like the American League will play Sunday, whereas the National League will move to Monday, and then
Well, and
it'll
I
kind of set
saw
up where there'll be after the first day 2 games per day.
yeah. And I saw somebody, they're like, "Oh, good job MLB, where there's no games on Friday." When there's no other sports. I mean, there is college football. There's some college football games
Yeah,
on
but
Friday night.
usually the
But
college football games on Friday night are not the good games.
yeah, but if you're
It's not
a
top
fan, but
25
anyway,
usually. Yeah,
that's
if your
true.
team's playing.
If your team's playing, okay. But so no, but no NFL, no nothing like that. But then you think about it, you couldn't have had I mean, I guess you could have. They finished Sunday on the season, and then the next day, Monday, they, the travel teams, right, they'd have to get on their flight and get there. And, then there would be like, well, they had to fly, and that's not fair.
Right.
And they don't
But
get a
what they
day.
could have done is they could have adjusted. And the problem with this isn't that MLB probably didn't want to say, you know what, if any team wins on Wednesday, we can start that series with who they're playing on Friday.
Yeah.
But the problem is all of these TV networks have regularly scheduled other things.
Right.
And so, and not that it should have mattered for TBS, so they're not going to rerun some episodes of Big Bang Theory,
Right.
um,
Yeah.
or Young Sheldon or whatever.
Mhm.
They could have gone and done so, but the only one that would have worked is the Dodgers Phillies. They could have started today,
They
played
could have,
today and
yeah.
Saturday, and then they would have been right on. But that's not, and that's part of the bigger problem is the networks that they're showing it on. It gets set that way, and they can't assume that they just don't float them. And then what if the Dodgers, let's say, or the Phillies were to win in 3?
Mhm.
Now they have extra days off that they wouldn't normally have,
Right.
and they tried to put it this way so that there were fewer days off, um, to be more like the season, because that's what I remember Mike Scioscia being a big proponent of. Let's do more days in a row, just like we play in the season, because then
Yeah.
once you get into a rhythm, you can stay into a rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see, like with the National League Series, will that extra day off over the first couple of days, Saturday off on Sunday, play Monday, off on Tuesday, play Wednesday, Thursday, then you're back set, but then you're
Right.
off. So it's almost like the NBA, where
Mm-hmm.
they're off like 2 or 3 games between playoff games.
Yeah, that's
They don't
crazy.
play back to back nights.
Right.
And I get it. It's a different game. You're running for
Yeah,
48 total minutes, whereas in
true.
baseball, you're not even standing around for 48 total minutes.
Yeah.
Anyway, unless you get a long inning. So let's leave. We know Detroit's going to Seattle. Who's going to Toronto for the ALE
CS.
CS?
Yes.
The American League East matchup with the Red Sox traveling to the Bronx. As we talked about last week, this is the hugest rivalry, the most bitter of the rivalries.
Well, and the Yankees or, Ticketmaster um, limited tickets, just as the Padres have done in the past, to New York and Connecticut
New Jersey.
and New Jersey.
Yeah, you had to be
So,
within certain area codes within those, because if you get to a certain part of Connecticut, you're not that far from Boston. You get to Eastern Connecticut. You got Rhode Island's right there, and Boston's not too much further up the road. Some of those
yep.
people may be Boston,
They might be fans.
fans. But here we go, like another one of those series that probably should have been, just on the sheer weight of what these two teams mean to one another and to the region. Probably should have been the championship series. But
Mm-hmm.
instead, one of these guys, team of 26, will be heading north of the border, going to pull out their passports and play the first place, even though they were tied with the Yankees, the AL East winners in the Blue Jays. And in this one, so we talked about Detroit, even though they weren't the home team, won the first game, they won the series. Cleveland was the home team, they didn't win. And that was an
Mm-hmm.
unusual thing overall.
Right.
The Red Sox and the Yankees, they start off game one with the Red Sox. Garrett Crochet, I think, was the reason for this,
Yes.
with a little help from his buddy Aroldis Chapman. Takes on and thumps. They didn't thump them. They won 3-1.
Well,
But I
and
think with the way Garrett Crochet was pitching, it may have
mm-hmm.
felt like a thumping.
Yeah, I mean, 11 strikeouts in the game. At the end of the game, in the ninth inning, New York tried to come back, and it looked like Aroldis Chapman. You're like, what's going on? Because he gave up like 3 straight singles, or something. Bases were loaded, and I think the Yankees are like the first team in the postseason to load the bases in the ninth inning in a postseason game and not score any runs and lose the game. Because you're thinking, well, the bases are loaded, you got to get at least one or,
Yeah, you would
something.
think.
But, we know if you watch the Dodgers, that's not, that's not how it works.
Against
Any
the
team,
Dodgers,
really.
against the Dodgers, yeah, you would score.
Yeah, again, yes.
Probably enough to tie it up at minimum.
They may have walked in a run, but
yeah, Crochet, controlled him for the innings that he was in with 11 strikeouts.
mm-hmm.
He goes almost a full 8, 7 2/3. Just gave up 4 hits and 1
And
run.
this is something other than the Cubs Padres series. These other series, I think almost all of the pitchers, I mean, the majority of the pitchers went quality starts, 6 or more innings
Yeah.
in these series, except, like I said, the Padres Cubs. So I think this first game you're thinking, okay, Boston looks like they could win. New York, the Yankees looked flat to me and just didn't have it in them. But Carlos Rodon is on the mound the next night, and the Yankees eke out a win 4-3.
Right. It was 2-2 out of the third, and then tied up again in the sixth at 3-3, and it was just one run in the eighth inning that would be the winner to get the Yankees and the Red Sox tied up in this series.
Yeah, and in this game, so Jazz Chisholm was not in the first, didn't play in the first game, and he was kind of irked about that.
Yeah, when they were talking to him after the game, he was looking through, like, he's got like 1,000 hangers of clothes in his locker, and he's like looking for something, and they're talking to him, and he's kind of blowing them off. I'm trying to find this shirt or this jacket or whatever. I don't know what it was. Feather boa for all that matters. He didn't know. Whatever he was looking for, he wasn't finding it, and he wasn't having those questions.
I don't think
Were
he
you
was looking for
surprised that you
anything.
weren't in the lineup today?
Yeah, but he was in the second game, and Austin Wells gets a hit, and Jazz Chisholm goes from first to home to score a run 9.16 seconds from
Wow.
first to home.
Like speeding.
Yes,
He'd have got a
loses
ticket
his
out on the
helmet
streets.
at third and slides in. So
He was
Yeah.
because he had walked. It was 2
Mhm.
outs. He walks, like you said, Austin Wells. And Austin Wells is what now? 47. I meant to.
he looks like he's a lot older.
He's like, and who was it? It was like the first baseman for the Reds. He's 21 years old, but he looks like an old Greek fisherman.
Yeah, his eyebrows are crazy.
And when you see
They
him,
almost
he
look like
just
they're gonna
looks
move.
He's been partying. He's a heavy smoker and a heavy drinker, and he's only 21 years old, but
He wears a dickie.
Yeah, right. There's just something
Under
going on. But,
while he's drinking, like he dresses like he's from the 70s.
Another guy that had a good series for the Yankees, Anthony Volpe, who actually hits a home run, and he had a terrible season overall. He's just not what you expected from him, and but he helps, and that was all they needed was that one run, and the Yankees will go to play, and rightfully so. They had identical records to finish the season. Now they can prove out who really was the champion. Yes, the reason that the Blue Jays were there is because they held the tiebreaker, winning the season series over the Yankees. So that's what gave them the East. But that's not. Now we get to see straight up. What was that they played and versus Toronto? Where were they? They were 5-8. So Toronto won 3 more than and outscored them by about 11 runs. Over the series. So what are the next potentially 5 games going to show?
Yeah, I mean, will the Blue Jays, continue to play that they played during the season? They won't have Bo Bichette. I don't know. He's been on the IL, but it is tough to not have him. How will their pitching be? I think Kevin Gossman is going in this first game. Don't know who the Yankees will start. I think, but in the third game of this series, Yankees win 4-0, and it's all thanks to a rookie pitcher who is the first pitcher, a rookie pitcher to start in a postseason game, like with since being called up, like within 30 days of being called up,
Right.
something crazy like that. And he pitches 8 innings, gives up 5 hits, no walks, 12 strikeouts. And how do you spell his name? Schlittler?
Schlittler.
Yeah. You got to be careful saying that. But he went back out there.
Like the sports page and like the New York Post was holy schlit.
Yeah.
And
And
I
I
saw
think
that in a few other places too. It was just
the
like,
crowd went, you thought he was going to, go 7, and then he goes back out there, pitches 8, and then when he comes back in, the crowd went crazy. I think that really energized them that they had
it
this
just-
pitcher. That
he-
was, they
and-
have
and
Max Fried, I
it
know
was a-
that, but
it was a crazy matchup to begin with because the Sox sent out another kid who was
Yes.
almost the same. They both made their debuts within a couple of weeks of the end of the season, give or take, maybe in the month, but they both came up in September. And Connolly Early from the Red Sox, who, when you look at his face, he resembles a young Clayton Kershaw. Not the way he pitches, but just visually when you look at him,
yes,
he does. But and he started off okay, but he wasn't able to do what Cam was able to do. And
No.
And the Yankees, in spite of losing game 1, the home team won. And they will start up, like we said, versus the Blue Jays tomorrow. And I don't remember when I saw the schedule if they are the what game they are. Let's see. They are they've got the last start time. So I think it's Seattle, Detroit, Dodgers, Phillies, Milwaukee.
So it's Cubs, Brewers, Yankees, Blue Jays, Dodgers, Phillies, and then Tigers, Mariners.
Oh, they're the last game.
They're the last game.
Right.
And I think more of that being virtue of being on the West Coast.
Yeah, that's probably the case. Yeah, you don't want the Yankees Blue Jays starting at 8:00.
No, that could be an interesting game though.
Pacific.
They started
8:00
Yes.
Pacific. You don't want. That's
Yeah.
11:00. You're like,
Yeah,
don't think
no.
so.
It's
Anyway,
too
so yeah,
much.
you got that matchup. So just to recap, we go around Seattle, Detroit. In Seattle, Blue Jays and Yankees in Toronto, Rogers Center hosting. You got the battle for the Central with the Brewers and the Cubs. And then finally, the Dodgers and the Phils. They're at Citizen Bank Ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
And those are, and then this series, the division series, are best of 5. So
Yes.
if anybody can get 3 games, like sweep it 3 games, they'll have a couple extra days off. If not, then they'll have So you want to make any predictions at this point?
I hate predictions.
I know you don't want to, but
obviously
this is called
Dodgers
content creation.
Dodgers over Phillies. Dodgers over Phillies.
I
Probably
think
in
that's a
5.
good choice in the fact that the Dodgers look like a different team than when they played the Phillies the last time.
Right. And I really do think that having played them in a recent, one of their last series is a helpful, it gives them, gives them some tips, right, on how on what they need to do differently. And those games, I know I said this before, but those games were not blowout games between, those two teams. So it wasn't like the Phillies came in and just blew them out of the water. So yeah,
So
I mean, obviously I'm going to be rooting for the Dodgers. Um,
Shohei, I don't think we mentioned this before, did we? Shohei,
and
oh, I did.
we
I
did
did mention it.
pitching for the
Shohei
first
getting the
time.
start versus Christian Sanchez
Yep.
in that one.
And they're
Okay.
going to be starting, the Phillies will be throwing out their 3 left-handed pitchers. So, how
Right.
that works. And how Shohei, when he pitched against the Phillies before, he looked really good. Hopefully he can continue that and they can be mystified by him in
Right.
this start.
Okay.
Uh,
So let's go to the Brewers and Cubs, where you'll have their top 2 starters, Matthew Boyd taking on Freddie Peralta.
yeah, I'm going to go with the Brewers in this one. I don't know what their season series, but I mean, I don't know that makes a difference so much because, as Kike says, in the postseason, everything goes to 0 and doesn't matter how, if you had a good one or a bad one. Um,
Well, I think the Brewers
but I
controlled
feel like,
them just by virtue of that they had the best record in baseball
yeah.
and all that. But
Um,
yeah, go ahead.
I think this is a tough one because I feel like that the time off for the Brewers could be might be somewhat detrimental. I mean, might play a part in this. I don't know how detrimental, but so I'm actually gonna go with the Cubs over the Brewers.
Oh, well, the Cubs did win the season series by 1 game.
Oh,
They won
okay.
7-6,
Um,
outscored them by 4 runs. So not a
mm,
huge amount.
no. I mean, the Brewers have been, they've just been great all season long, and they really have done it playing small ball. I mean, they just, they don't. So I think it'll be a good series. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Cubs in this one.
Okay,
Um, and
so
then,
we'll end up, if everything goes the way you're saying, the championship series will be Chicago, LA.
but I don't really want that because then the Cubs played. The Dodgers didn't play well against the Cubs,
Well,
but they
but
didn't play well against the Brewers, so it doesn't matter, does it?
no, they got swept completely by the Brewers. They beat the
Exactly. So
Cubs a
maybe the
time or
Cubs.
two.
But no, I think there could be some momentum for the Cubs, I think is what I'm really thinking
All
there.
right, let's check
And
Detroit and Seattle
Seattle,
with Troy Melton going up against George Kirby.
I think Seattle. I think Seattle will beat them.
I think so too. They have better pitching
Yeah.
overall,
And did
and
we mention that?
Julio has been playing really well this second half. Julio Rodriguez.
Yes. And Cal Raleigh, did you know that he had no passed balls
We didn't
as a
mention that,
catcher?
but yeah, I heard that. I think you sent me the thing.
That just is crazy to me. And that is why he should be, I mean, that's one of the reasons why he should be American League MVP. Not Aaron Judge,
Right.
Cal
I agree.
Raleigh.
All right.
Seattle, and then I'm gonna go with the Blue Jays.
All right.
I don't.
As you mentioned, Kevin Gossman will start game 1 going up
Mhm.
Luis Gil,
Okay.
to start that one. And I would say I would go with Gosman. Just he's pitched more during the year. He's a little more experienced, but you never know. Um,
Yeah, this one is a tie. I'm just gonna. virtue of I'm not. Yeah, I'm just going to go with the Blue Jays. I think we'll see how hungry the Blue Jays are. I think there's a lot of things with the Yankees where I almost feel like they sometimes feel like it should be given to them.
Hmm.
Like they're because
They
we're the Yankees and
right.
we're supposed to,
Just give us
but
number 28.
yeah, and I mean, but some people were like, well, the whole from last season, the World Series, and they lost in that spectacular, they just blew it in that
Yeah,
fifth
meltdown
inning.
completely.
But is that a motivation? I didn't see that in the first game and really throughout the series versus Boston, because if that were the case, I think they would have scored a lot more.
Yeah, they can hurt themselves defensively
Yes.
a lot, and sometimes it's hard. I mean, you've got Judge, and I think that they do kind of stand back. A lot of the players, Judge and Stanton, sometimes they
Mm-hmm.
stand and they look at them and just wait for them to do something.
Yeah.
You know, sorry, you can't hit an 8-run home run.
Right.
You know,
It doesn't
depending on
work
how
that
far
way.
you're down, one swing of the bat may get you moving in the right direction. But unless you're only down by one swing of the bat's not going to change it.
Yeah. No. Um, yeah. So it'll be, I think they're going to be good series all the way around. I think though the marquee series really is the Phillies and the Dodgers.
Yeah. So I think so too. So you'll see Shohei and then Snell and then probably Yoshi for game 3. It'll be Gill, Freed, and Rodon for the first 3. And then Schlittler will show up in game 4 if need be. And we'll see about the rest of them. Those were just up there easy for me to see. So
Yeah, and we really won't know. Like for the Dodgers, Michael Conforto was left off the wild card because you got Kike, and Kike is Mister Postseason. So will he be left off the championship? I
for the
don't see why
division
not.
series.
I keep saying championship, division series. I apologize.
So yeah, who knows?
Division.
That could be. So we'll
Um,
see how all that plays out. Um, like I said, everything starts tomorrow. And who'd you say? Milwaukee and Chicago is the first game up tomorrow.
yes. 12. I
Okay.
mean, these are Pacific time because that's what we always look at is Cubs and Brewers in noon. And then, so it's going to be very much like how the wild card series was. So noon, and then about 2 hours later, you'll have Yankees, Blue Jays, and then
Two hours
two
later is
hours
Phillies, Dodgers, and then two
Phillies,
hours behind
Dodgers, and
that. So yeah,
then yep.
the only
So
one that's starting off on the West Coast.
yeah,
Everybody
that's
else
it.
is East or Central.
Mm-hmm.
Milwaukee,
Milwaukee
Philadelphia, and Toronto.
and Toronto. So hopefully their travel secretary packed their passports.
Either that'll be hanging out at the border. They'll be like what was the movie with Tom Hanks where he was stuck in the airport because
Oh yeah.
not because he didn't have a passport, but because his country for some reason became a non-country because they went to war or something like that, and
Yeah,
so
while
at
he
that
was
point they
gone.
didn't recognize, so he spent like a year in the or months in the thing. The the
Yeah,
the Yankees will be stuck in YYZ.
that's it. Real quick, I want to. There are a lot of quite a few manager positions open, but the Texas Rangers have a new manager. I don't think this is any surprise. Skip Schumacher is the new manager for the Rangers. He was like a special assistant or something for them. He was the 2023 manager of the year. He took the Marlins to the wild card that year.
Mm-hmm.
And but Atlanta we'll have a new manager. Brian Snitker is retiring, as a manager. I don't know if he'll be, somewhere in the front office as a special advisor or something. The Angels will have a new manager. And San Francisco, as I mentioned, Bob Melvin was fired. And I heard today that Kirk Suzuki is interviewing for that position.
Wow, not a
And
bad idea. Yeah, he was.
yeah, and
I
then
think he'll be a great manager.
And Minnesota said, "Sorry, Rocco, you got to go." And the top candidate there is Torrey Hunter, but they haven't made any decisions. But I thought we should mention that because those are things we will be looking at, after the playoffs and see where the will of managers.
All right, we're going to park the playoff edition bullpen cart, call it an episode. We will be back sometime next week, I guess, depending on how all the playoff series goes. If we have definitive winners, then, what we'll probably try to do is wait until we have all the series over and then talk to them going into the next set. So,
which is the championship series.
Right, which will actually be the series.
Right. Not what I keep calling everything.
Anyway, we'll do that then. Remember, you can find us in the meantime, and even while you're listening to this episode, check us out. Maybe while you're listening, say, "Jeff, you're so dumb. Why don't you just let Jana tell us everything?" Or whatever. Stop bloviating. You can do that. We'll be happy to have your messages. If you hear something we did wrong or you have your own opinion you'd like to share, we'd love to hear it. On Twitter, you can send us, you can either tweet at us or send us a DM. Our DMs are open, ready for you to slide into. At Sibling Rivalry BB without the A. We're also on Blue Sky under the same handle.
And on Facebook and Instagram at Sibling Rivalry BB with the A.
And then website, siblingrivalrybb.com. Like I said, get all your playoff gear, October baseball t-shirts of any team that made it to the postseason. Even the Dregs have one. And the Reds.
And the Reds. And the Red
teams.
Sox and Cleveland.
Even the other teams have
That's
them as
right.
well. But anyway, you can get a October baseball from one of those, your favorite playoff team, or any kind of gear. You can also get other leagues as well. Fanatics.
Hockey's starting, so that's
Right.
going to be there too. So
Fanatics links right there on siblingrivalrybb.com. So don't forget, it's like the NCAA tournament, only better because it's baseball. Lots of games tomorrow, and then a lot of games, 2 every day, until we have a champion, at least here. And then at some point, it'll get to 1 inning. But till we get there, whatever you do, don't forget to swing away.